Happy Saturday, foodie friends, grain-free VIPs. Welcome to today's Slice of the Grain-Free Lifestyle episode. My name is Nina Blake. I'm the Grain-Free Lifestyle Coach, and I help families pack their menus with flavor and variety while avoiding grains and allergens so that they can enjoy meals together as they heal and live their best lives. And it's great to be here with you as you are coming on and being notified that I am here live. I would just appreciate it if you could say hello in the chat, drop an emoji, and I'm getting a quick message from my VA, and I didn't bring my iPad up here, so excuse me. You know what, we're gonna try this again. Oh, Rose is here with me. Rose, I'm so glad you're here. That was my mistake, not grabbing my iPad, so thank you all for being patient. Welcome to today's Slice of the Grain-Free Lifestyle episode. Today, we are gonna talk about strategies for traveling, and I'm going to share with you 3 strategies today that you can implement immediately, even if you are going on vacation tomorrow. All right, are you ready? Let's do this. The first strategy I call your advocacy card. It'd be nice if it were right side up. Your advocacy card. The second strategy is a food purse. And the third strategy is purposefully planning your meals. Okay, so when you plan your vacation and you select your lodgings, hopefully you have selected a lodging with some type of refrigeration because if you're grain-free, the more of our own food we bring, the better off we are. Now that can be challenging, right? But we're gonna start with the advocacy card because I'm going to assume that on your vacation, you are going to want to have at least one meal out. So your advocacy card. So the first thing you're gonna do, you can print these on your home printer. You can go to Staples, get them printed. You can order them through Vistaprint or Canva. On your advocacy card, you put the foods that you are avoiding. Then you put foods that are safe for you. And you get more than 100 of these printed up. Why? Because when you go to a restaurant and you scan the menu, and let's say you go to a steakhouse and there are these wonderful steak tips. Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful? Steak tips, that sounds wonderful. Ooh, they have a gravy. I'm gonna have to ask for the gravy not to be on them, but I can still have the steak tips, right? I can still have the mushrooms and onions. Okay, and comes with noodles. No, maybe I'll get a side salad, a double vegetable, but I highly recommend when your server comes up and your server says, what are you gonna order? I'd like to get the steak without gravy. The way I order goes something like this. Hi, my name's Nina. I have a lot of food allergies. They're written on this card here. I'm gonna tell you what I would like to order. I think it's safe. Could you please check with the chef? And I'll say, I'd like to have the steak tips without gravy. Could you please use only salt and pepper for seasoning on the steak? Are the mushrooms and onions fried in any, for example, say corn oil? What do you use for shortening? Could you please use olive oil? And I hand my server my advocacy card, and the server goes, do you need this back? I say, nope. You can get all the sauce you want on it. I have 100 more. Saves the server and the kitchen a lot of time. The server comes back and the server says, oh, our steak is marinated because on here it says I can't have vinegar. But our steak tips are marinated, but I have another steak that isn't marinated. Would you like that instead? Oh my goodness, I have just been saved from an allergic reaction. So I highly recommend that you print up an advocacy card. It doesn't have to be fancy. The most important thing is that you have your foods you're avoiding and your safe foods on it. And if you really want to get fancy, you can put your safety plan on the back. For example, I never go anywhere without informing the other person that I am dining with of my safety plan. They know that I have Benadryl and Zyrtec in my handbag. Yes, there are hidden grains in them, but it's a whole lot safer for me to pop a Benadryl or a Zyrtec than it is to have hives all day if I've been exposed to dairy or something like that. So the first strategy is your advocacy card. Okay, The next strategy, are you ready? The food purse. I still have a tag on it because this one is brand new. It is a very nice insulated lunchbox, basically. Now you can get any kind you want. Why do I call it a food purse? Because ideally yours will look like a handbag and no one is going to think that you are walking into a restaurant with a cooler, right? So you put your safe foods in here. I also call this the reverse Sophia Petrillo for the Golden Girls fans, right? Sophia puts rolls in her purse. I pull rolls out of mine. I know. Because think about it. If you go to a restaurant and everyone around you is eating rolls, the conversation is either going to be, oh, Nina, it's so bad. You can't have these rolls. Wow, they're really good. Fabulous. Haven't heard that before. Of course you have, right? So you take rolls that you bring, pull them out of your food purse, and, okay, so I'm going to slice this. And I'm going to toast it. I know you wouldn't be able to toast it in a restaurant. Maybe you toast it ahead of time. All right? And so you're bringing safe foods with you. Now, at first, people are very uncomfortable doing this. I would like to let you know that the Americans with Disabilities Act protects your right to eat safely. What does that mean? That means that if the restaurant cannot provide you with safe foods, you are allowed to bring safe foods. What does that look like? That looks like your favorite grain-free lifestyle coach bringing in a cake that she made herself for her own wedding so that my husband and I could have a safe cutting cake. And the restaurant made us sign a waiver to say that we wouldn't poison ourselves. Ridiculous, right? But we had cake on our wedding day, so please be aware of that and use it when you need to. Now, I'm going to take my roll. Now I'm going to toast it. Excuse me for turning my back to you. And while my roll is toasting, it's boring to have a roll by itself, right? Rolls are okay, but rolls with butter are where it's at. So I have my butter here. I just made this last night, and usually I freeze it. Yeah, this needs to be frozen, so I'm not going to take out a whole stick. But I will just take out a little bit. It's easier to remove from the butter molds, but you can see it's butter. It looks like butter, it tastes like butter. The first version of this is in my VIP recipe box. If you would like the recipe, please put recipe below, and I will reach out to you and help you get that. Okay, while we're rating, so we've talked about our advocacy card, right? We are going to put our allergens and our safe foods on this. Then, when we go to a restaurant, we hand the server our advocacy card and we explain what we would like to eat, why we think it would be safe. We ask the server to check for any allergens and come back to us with an alternative. Saves us time, saves them time. Then, we're dining in a restaurant. We pull out our food purse, we pull out some nice rolls, we pull out our own butter, and we are eating safely with our family. Remember, the restaurant, as long as you purchase a meal from them, they are not going to be able to say that you should not bring in outside food because your food allergies are protected by the Americans with Disabilities Act. They do get upset if you do not purchase anything from them and you try to bring in your own food, but that's not what you're doing. You're adding to eat safely. Can I give you another tip? When you order at a restaurant, build up from a basic menu. What do I mean? Let's say, for example, I love a Cobb salad. However, a Cobb salad has a lot of foods on it that I can't have, okay? I can't have the egg, right? I can't have the cheese, right? I can't have bacon. But let's say I want to make my own Cobb salad. I order a garden salad instead. Okay, and I ask the restaurant to put some fresh avocado in it. Okay, in my bag, I have some dairy-free cheese, I have some turkey bacon ready to go, and I've got practically a Cobb salad that works my way, but I'm not subject to the ginormous charge of a Cobb salad. I'm not paying for food that I'm not eating, because who wants to do that? All right, now we are going to talk about purposefully planning our menu, and this is something that can be super simple or uber complicated if you make it that way. What do I mean? Purposely planning your menu can go all the way from booking lodgings with a fridge, meal prepping ahead of time, right? And I mean, if you're like, oh, meal prepping, I can't, Nina. I teach my fast track and platinum VIPs to make 5 dinners in 2 hours. Let me tell you, every time before I go on vacation, I meal prep with that 2 hours. It gets us through the vacation, and I don't do much cooking because my commitment is that while I'm on vacation, I cook nothing. It's wonderful. All right, let's check out the roll. Okay. So, and we have a little roll here. So let's say I'm out to dinner and in my food purse, right, I have a nice roll and I've brought a container of my butter. Okay, sometimes you can get the restaurant to agree to heat food for you. That usually takes some planning ahead of time, but that's where it gets into purposefully planning. These things, like asking the restaurant to heat food for you, goes a lot better if you go at off-peak hours. Okay? So, planning when you're going to a restaurant. Now, this is where we save some serious money. If you have a venue, or a lodgings rather, if you have a lodging where you are able to bring food, you are ahead of the game, because one of my favorite ways to save so much money on vacation is to bring as much of my own food as I possibly can. So for me, that looks like bringing rolls. That looks like making sure every breakfast I have, I pack with me. What do I pack for breakfast? Waffles. My husband has been going crazy for these. Literally in the last week, I have made 3 batches of waffles. I am no longer making single batches. I am making double batches only because my waffle monster keeps eating my waffles. But you can see these waffles, they travel great. They freeze well too. So put them in your cooler, and you can even reheat them in the toaster if you have a safe toaster, or if you have to bring your own, you have to bring your own. All right. So, purposefully planning your meals. You could meal prep ahead of time. You could freezer cook and bring and freeze everything so that you're doing a little bit each week for maybe 4 weeks before you go, 1 extra meal a week. That's doable, right? Now, for more awesome tips, I'm sure my amazing VA Rose has put the link to my calendar in the comments. Please use that link. We'll meet for a consult and we'll talk about some ways that I can support you. I promise you, my packages are affordable because my commitment is to create the program that I needed 12 years ago when I went grain-free and it felt like the floor had been pulled out from under me and nobody could help me eat. And I want you not only to be able to eat safely day to day, but to have that dream vacation. All right, so we're talking about purposeful planning of our meals. Look at how nice that butter melts. Okay. So, if we're going to purposely plan our meals, what does that mean? That means that we're going to scope out the area and we're going to look and see, where are the restaurants? What are the location of the restaurants in relation to the attractions that we want to see? Probably something you would do anyway. And you make sure that you have your breakfast ready to go. And then you have to decide, do you want to eat lunch and dinner out? In my experience, that gets old really quickly because of cost and because of time wasted. If you are going to eat at peak times, you waste a lot of time where you could be enjoying, experiencing, especially if you go to those theme parks with all-day passes. Any time you waste online for meals is time that you are not on rides. And those little kids, they want to get the most out of their passes. So I try and eat 1 meal or less out per day. That means I pack a lot. That means I get the biggest food purse I possibly can. Usually, my husband and I, we eat breakfast at our lodgings. We pack our lunch with us. We scope out the grocery stores. Now, it doesn't mean that We're going to rely on the grocery stores for snacks, but it means I'm only going to pack with me foods that I know I cannot get locally. I'm not packing lettuce. Every grocery store in America has lettuce. I will go to the grocery store, I will buy lettuce, and I will check the snack aisles to see what I can have. If they have some snacks that I can, great. I'm at least gonna grab lettuce, fresh fruit, and a couple other things, probably toiletries that I've forgotten that first night. And so that helps. So I have my breakfast in the hotel, I pack my lunch, maybe I'll go to a restaurant in the evening. However, if you are staying at a beautiful attraction, and I hope you are, I like to stay on the beach. I tend to put all the money that I would spend on food towards my lodging so that I can stay someplace spectacular. Is there anything better than dinner on the beach? Exactly. So yeah, we have homemade food when we go on vacation, but it's beachfront. And it's amazing. So right now you might be thinking, Nina, what would I take with me on vacation? What would travel well? Okay. This summer when my husband and I go to the Cape, what am I planning to bring? I'm definitely bringing waffles. I'm going to bring some creamy coconut cereal. What else am I going to bring? I love soup, so I'm going to make a big pot of soup and I will freeze it and I will use the soup as ice packs in my cooler, actually. So that's another way to save space. What about dinners? I'm definitely going to bring some cheeseburger casserole. I'll probably bring some bacon ranch pasta. I'll bring some chicken nuggets because those are great. I will bring some rolls and some tuna salad. I'll bring some pourable cheddar, stainless steel. If I scrub it really well, I can make a tuna melt, and I don't have, as long as I clean it, I don't have any contact troubles. I know that's not true for everybody, so please, please, please do what is safe for you. I can't wait to share this recipe. I'm hoping to have these rolls out by the 4th of July. So if you're looking for the rolls or butter recipe, please put recipe in the chat. So that way I can reach out to you. And I'm excited to support you. Use my calendar link. We'll meet on Zoom. We'll see if we are a good fit to work together because I believe you can do this. You do not have to do this on your own. That is my mission, to help you and your family eat safely, because the possibilities are endless when you break a recipe. I love you. Have a great vacation with your family. And if you need anything, I'm just a message away. Bye-bye.